name's Ben Stephenson. I'm a teaching professor in computer science. I completed my university studies at the University of Western Ontario, both my undergraduate degree and my PhD. After completing my PhD, I was a postdoctoral fellow at the University of Western Ontario for about a year before I came to the University of Calgary as an instructor. Over the last 12 years, I've gone from being an instructor to a senior instructor to a teaching professor where I am now today. The course that I've taught most frequently is Computer Science 217, which is our introductory programming course for non-majors. I've also taught our Programming Language Paradigms course, Computer Science 449, and our Games Programming Capstone Project course, which is Computer Science 585. Other courses that I've taught occasionally are an introductory programming course for students in the Computational Media Design graduate program, and I've also taught Computer Science 231, which is our introductory course for majors. I had the opportunity to be a teaching assistant starting in my third year of university, and that helped me discover that I enjoyed teaching, but at the same time I didn't want to teach at the high school level because I didn't want all the classroom management issues that come along with that. Teaching at the university level also allows me to work with really motivated students while pursuing questions that are interesting to me, both pedagogical questions and technical research questions. Other career paths that I considered including software development and law enforcement. I had the opportunity to gain some insight into both of those by working as a software developer as an undergrad student during my summers, and I spent a couple of years as an auxiliary constable with the London Police Service when I was a grad student. Well, I think both of those career paths would have worked out well for me too. Ultimately, the professor path is the one that I took, and I'm very happy that I'm here. Is it my dream job? In many ways, yes. I'd probably make more money if I worked in industry, but I wouldn't have the same opportunities to teach, and I wouldn't have the same freedom to pursue problems just because they're problems that I think are interesting. Over the time that I've been at the University of Calgary, I've taught almost 3,000 students in our introductory course for non-majors. Many of those students come into that course with a sense of uncertainty or trepidation or even fear, and they think that they're not going to be able to do the work in the course. They think that they're not going to enjoy the course. And so one of the big accomplishments for me has been convincing those students that computer science is an important, interesting area where they can do useful work and that they are able to learn that material even though they don't think that they're able to. And so I view it as a significant accomplishment to get those students from that place of uncertainty to a place where they're really confident with the material, excited about it, and even wanting to go on and learn more about it. I was an undergraduate student who was good at earning high marks. That was partly because I was willing to put the time into learning the material, and partly because I became good at writing exams. I graduated at the top of my class, earning the gold medal in computer science. I don't like it when students want to be spoon-fed or when they lack perseverance. I get frustrated by emails that ask something that's easily looked up on the course website or could be easily located with Google. Similarly, I find it frustrating when students want to put only a little bit of effort into something when it comes to solving a problem. I really want my students to work on problems that are big enough that the answer isn't something that comes down to a multiple choice answer. What do I do when I'm not sciencing? I have a 4-year-old and a 9-month-old at home, so home life is fairly hectic at the moment and will get even more so in the next few weeks when the little one starts moving. I enjoy hiking, particularly out in the Rockies or down in the desert in Utah. In the summertime, I grow a lot of raspberries, and there always seems to be another home improvement project that needs to be undertaken. It's somewhat well known that I like to build large and/or detailed models out of Lego. Over the past 8 years, I have created large models for about a dozen companies, individuals, and organizations in and around Calgary, the best known of which is the 100,000 piece model of Calgary's new central library that's currently sitting in the atrium at City Hall. I've also published one paper that has Lego in the title, which was about techniques for choosing the right bricks to build a model out of to maximize its strength and minimize the number of pieces. What's the craziest thing I've ever done? Academically, it was as a grad student agreeing to teach a course that had already begun. Back when I was a grad student, one of the faculty members in my department went on an unexpected medical leave a week after classes started, and so on a Friday afternoon I discovered that I would be teaching the remainder of an operating systems course. This was a particularly challenging undertaking because I had never taught an operating systems course before and was also teaching another course that was new to me that semester. Non-academically, the most crazy thing I've ever done probably relates to hiking. As I mentioned in a previous answer, I enjoy hiking in the desert down in Utah or out in the Rockies, and I've had my little two-wheel drive subcompact on all kinds of roads it was never intended to go on. Probably the most notable case is taking it out to the trailhead for Covert Arch in Arches National Park. The trailhead for that is down many miles of gravel road, the last 4 miles of which are a sand 4x4 track, which is intended for high clearance vehicles. Another hiking minor adventure was taking my 3-month-old son to the top of Hart Mountain and getting hailed on while we were up there. My wife also suggested that I should point out that I dragged her 10 miles around the Chesler Park Loop in Canyonlands National Park while she was pregnant in 100-degree temperatures, and that's a long hike over very rough terrain. My biggest fear is not being able to provide for my family. Fortunately, a tenured teaching professorship has a decent salary and great job security, so this isn't likely to be a big problem. Pets? Only my children. My favorite movie is probably The Incredibles. My favorite junk food is chocolate. 3 things I can't live without are my family, a computer, and a bucket of Lego bricks. How much sleep do I get? Not enough, but that's a reflection on my children, not the academic lifestyle. Before I had children, I was pretty consistent about getting 8 hours every night. If students just take one thing away from my class, I hope it's that computer science is a fun, exciting, interesting, important, useful discipline that's worth studying further. So my advice is go to class, pay attention, or better yet, participate while you're there. Learn the material in a deep manner, not just how to memorize it, but how to apply it to solve problems, preferably in ways that you've never been shown previously. Manage your time well, work on the assignments well ahead of when they're due, and start studying for your exams early. All of this is intended to give you the background that you need that will give you the material for the long term instead of just cramming it into your head long enough for the exam and then forgetting about it. Then, once you have that background, go and find a problem that you're excited about and that you're motivated to solve, and convince a professor that you're excited about it and motivated to solve it, and then that professor will be interested in working with you. Why shouldn't you trust atoms? Because they make up everything.